It was the longest ground campaign in the Pacific War. It was also the largest in terms of manpower on both sides. It was commanded by one of the most revered and reviled American commanders of that war. The enemy commander was one of the most respected and proficient produced by Imperial Japan. After 8 months of continuous struggle, the campaign was still ongoing, ended only by the surrender of Imperial Japan. Yet in the nearly 80 years since its conclusion, few studies of that battle have been produced. Instead, what has been produced are histories of incidents within that campaign, many of them excellent, but which do not do justice to the ordinary soldier who fought and the many who died in clearing the Philippine island of Luzon of Japanese occupation. This study hopes to fill that historical gap. By January 1945, it was clear to the Allied powers that they were well on the way to winning the World War that had begun more than 4 years ago. In Europe, American General George S. Patton's 3rd U.S. Army was attacking to clear the significant enemy penetration seized during what was now being called the Battle of the Bulge. Lieutenant General William H. Simpson's 9th U.S. Army was about to reach the western side of the Cal River. To the south, Lieutenant General Jacob L. Devers' 6th Army Group was defending itself against another major German offensive, Operation Nordwind, in which the 7th U.S. Army of Lieutenant General Alexander M. Patch was heavily engaged. To the east, Russian Army forces were battling for the city of Budapest. In Italy, Lieutenant General Willis D. Krittenberger's 4th Corps took over the Serchio River sector from the 8th Indian Infantry Division and prepared to assault the latest German winter line. On the other side of the world, in Burma, the 124th U.S. Cavalry Regiment, a part of the newly established Mars Task Force, successors to Merrill's Marauders, crossed the Shuili River in a move to cut Japanese lines of communication. Not far away, the British 14th Army continued attacking the Japanese Burma Area Army, driving it deeper into the jungles. In China, Japanese forces renewed their attack along the Canton-Hankow Railroad to drive the Chinese forces away from their own communications. In Fleet Admiral Chester W. Nimitz's Central Pacific Theater of Operations, the 7th Army Air Force began the preliminary bombardment of the Bonin Islands, including Iwo Jima. As these campaigns were progressing, a new one began. General Walter Krueger's 6th U.S. Army began to land on the Philippine island of Luzon. Consisting of some 190,000 American soldiers, supported by thousands of sailors and Marines, the 6th Army was to recover the former home of the commander of the Southwest Pacific Theater of Operations, General Douglas MacArthur.